Hello and welcome to World Talks. My name is Diana Skaya. A U.S. consortium led by BlackRock is set to buy a major stake in ports along the Panama Canal from a Hong Kong-based company. Now, this comes after pressure from President Trump to reduce Chinese influence over key trade routes. The deal also impacts Poland, as the company involved owns part of the Port of Gdynia. Now, what does this mean for Poland's security and economy? Well, joining me now in studio to discuss is Ambassador Tomasz Łukaszuk, research scientist at the University of Warsaw. Sir, welcome to the program. So happy to have you here this morning.
Thank you for the invitation.
So, Trump says his government has started to reclaim the Panama Canal. I mean, we're talking about here BlackRock and its partners reportedly controlling 43 ports worldwide. This is most likely going to impact, of course, global trade and shipping routes. And particularly, it is going to affect our region here, Poland. Do tell us details.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I do understand President Trump and even the previous administration in Washington started the kind of revitalization of the maritime concept of the U.S. engagement abroad. Because China, starting 2014, I mean, the Belt and Road Maritime Dimension is a program of building outposts around the world in all the hubs for maritime transportation and also the taking over the ports and container terminals in all the continents. So far, China has 95 container terminals and ports in all the key places in the maritime transportation around the world.
And we're talking about the one in Gdynia.
And the one in Gdynia is as well. And one in Gdynia is as well. And all those ports, they have also the same significance like port in Gdynia. It means it's not only about the merchant trade, it's also about the naval diplomacy and naval shipyards. In all those places, naval shipyards are interconnected with the civilian ports. And so we call it dual-use ports. And Port of Gdynia also plays a very significant part in the strategic network of Poland, interconnected into the security not only in dimension of military aspects, but also energy and transportation at sea and on land. For the United States nowadays, it's a very challenging task because so far the United States does not have such a plan. They started last year to rebuild the impact on the maritime routes, but China started it 12 years ago. So I would say they have now at least 10 years to go to introduce also the similar plan. I mean, the United States to have also its outposts in the global maritime roads.
What are the potential geopolitical consequences now of replacing a Chinese-owned terminal in Gdynia with an American one?
Well, I would say this way. This is the matter of the balance between the Chinese influence and the United States support for the strategic security of Poland. We have to remember how China provides support for the global South countries. In what terms? We have to remember about terms of cooperation with China. It means they are using all those ports mainly for their purposes and for their interests. So we have to remember about our interests, and we have also to remember about another aspect about cooperation of China with Russia in the context of the war in Ukraine. And for this time, we have to limit the access of the Chinese assets to our strategic infrastructure.
Well, particularly also, I mean, Gdynia does serve as the main port of transit, right, for the transfer of American soldiers and equipment to Ukraine.
But of course, this is what you said. So certainly, yes, and there were some discrepancies last year with this transportation, and I would say this high time just to act and to limit the Chinese access to the port of Gdynia. And to our strategic roads.
So exactly, I mean, what you just said, how can Poland do that? How can Poland ensure that these key national assets remain under its influence and to prevent, I mean, regardless of any kind of foreign ownership, be it the United States, be it China, what can Poland?
Well, first of all, we have to strengthen, and this is the current government's plan. We have to strengthen our maritime dimension, our maritime infrastructure. Also, rebuild our capacity also for our navy, and to be more engaged in the maritime routes. And recently, December last year, was the plan for rebuilding a strategic route from Gdynia, connecting it with other important economic hubs in Poland. So overall, if we take a look in a holistic way, in this Gdynia port, I think that the current government's efforts are really significant, and I think in 1 or 2 years we'll see the results. I mean, the positive way, strengthening our maritime policy in the Baltic Sea and also in the global scale.
Let me ask you this: if we just go back to, I mean, remember when I asked you, let's say we replace this Chinese-owned terminal in Gdynia with an American one, how do you think it would impact Poland's strategic position within NATO and the EU?
Well, I mean, our strategic position nowadays in NATO, in EU, is a matter of eastern flank, and the country with immediate neighbor of Russia, and this is not a matter only of Ukraine, but as we know, so it's also the matter of Kaliningrad area, which is heavily militarized, and this is also one of the I would say assets of Russia in immediate neighborhood, not only of Poland but Baltic countries and also Nordic countries like Sweden or Denmark. So we have to cooperate with them, and we have to also strengthen our position. I mean, one of the hubs at the crossroads between East and West, and South and North in the European Union, and also among NATO countries. Membership of Sweden and Finland help us also to strengthen this position. I mean, as I would say the strongest player in the Baltic Sea, in the strategic meaning of the maritime dimension, in both civilian ports and also the naval bases, because this also the cooperation of Poland with the Baltic countries will help us also to build up our strategic position, not only in the region but also in global mapping, because adding to what I said, we have to remember the cooperation between Russia and China in the context of the North Route. In the North Route, meant for not only for merchant fleet but also for the military purposes. They are extremely active nowadays in the Arctic Ocean. And this also is discussed in the European Union, but also on the meetings of Polish Prime Minister with the Nordic and Baltic countries. Because we have this is also the one of the global dimension you asked me for. So it's Baltic is interconnected in the North Sea, but also into the Arctic Ocean, and from the Arctic Ocean it goes directly to the Indo-Pacific, to China, and furthermore to our strategic partners in Asia, Japan, and South Korea.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Tomasz Łukaszuk, research scientist at the University of Warsaw, for breaking it down for us. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you much.
And this completes this edition of World Talks. I'm Diana Skaya. Thanks for watching.